good afternoon, my peeps, and all my other friends. Today is, let's see, July the 18th, 2023. How did it get to be the 18th of July already? I don't understand. Time flies. It just flies. So I'd like to welcome each and every one of you. If you're new here, I hope you find something that you like and will hang around for a while. For those subscribers that keep coming back, thank you so much to each and every one of you for coming back and uh, putting up with my bloopers and all that other good stuff. And to my VIP members, thank you so much for being just who you are and all your support and encouragement of the channel. It is so very much appreciated. So today, you're seeing something different. I'm having a calling, a little bit of a calling, but now that should not surprise anybody, no one at all, because you never know what Karen's going to be working on. She does believe. You just don't have any idea what you're going to see or what you're going to get. So today, I fell in love with this piece of Hardanger that you see down here in the lower, my left, probably your right corner. It is absolutely gorgeous, and it is out of the book, that the Japanese book that I just recently got, which would be this one. Maybe you can see it better up here. There we go. There we go. Lovely, lovely book. This is the one that has that gorgeous, outstanding, lovely tablecloth in, which is out of this world beautiful. I think my light might be making it a little hard to see. Oops, I'll get it right one day. There it is. There it is. Out of this world gorgeous. But I thought, oh, you know what? That's going to be just a little bit more than I want to tackle. So I decided to tackle the one that you see on the screen. And since, of course, the design isn't challenging enough, and really, when you look at it, it really is not that difficult. I mean, it has some different, well, not really, but it has some different stitches in it, even some that I have not done in the past. So, but that's okay. That's okay. We have Yvette's book, and that will help us. Or I have several of her Hardanger books, so I'm sure some of these stitches that maybe I have not done before are in one of those. Then I'll be able to find some direction on which way to go. So I did start it, and to make it even more challenging, are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? Hold on to your hats, because I know you're going to go, oh God, Karen, what are you doing? I have started this on 40 count for Dow, which I am finding lovely. I had started a piece on a piece of 40 count linen called Alba Maxima, and I was having trouble with differentiating the linen threads. It just was not working very well. This piece of Verdal or however you say it, in my stash. This is by Zweigert. It's the same company that makes Lugana, and it is very similar to Lugana, only it's 40 count, which is wonderful. It is so soft, and I love it. I absolutely love it. Now, I have a piece that's pretty big because this table runner is going to be pretty big. I think I figured my piece of fabric is 36, I'm going to say 27 by 36. And if I counted the blocks correctly, because in the book, it comes on 4 different pages. So I'm going to what I did is I copied each of the pages and taped them together. Okay. So after I taped them together, this is essentially 1/4 of the design. So after I taped them together, I counted across the top the widest points, like from here to the center, and then I counted from the peak of the top to the center here. And then, of course, each of those numbers I doubled because this is only 1/4 of the design. So I had to double each of these numbers and came up with a number that I hope is relatively close, and then multiplied it by 4 so that I knew how many threads I had that I needed. And once I knew how many fabric threads I needed, I then these glasses, these little things to put on. Once I knew how many fabric threads I needed, which across the width, it was like 700 fabric threads. So then I took that 700 and divided it by the count that I was using. Look, I look like but it is what it is. I divided it by the count that I'm using, which is 40. And then I did the same thing with the length. Divided it by 40. That gave me the number of inches that I needed. And I determined that with any amount of luck, my calculations were reasonably correct, that this is the amount of an elegant sufficiency to the amount of fabric that I needed. Now, in order to be safe, I didn't cut my piece at all. What I did was folded it in half. On the short, I used the short side for the width, and the long side will be the length. I forget what the length of this is. I think it was, oopsie. Where'd the other half go? There it is. My short side is 27. So that became my width. My long side is a yard. So that became my length. I figured I should have an elegant sufficiency. So I gave myself enough room at the top for a margin and a lacy edge. I think I don't have my calculations right. Oh, no, I thought I had them here, but I didn't. I don't. Oh, wait, maybe I do. No. But I think I figured, I don't remember. For some reason, 18 by 27 seems to strike my strike a bell that that's what the width and the length would be. So I have an elegant sufficiency, and I have enough margins. I'm probably wasting that is what I'm ultimately getting at, but that's okay. I don't mind. Um, that's the one thing. These directions, they give you the centimeters, and they give me two different sets of centimeters, and it's all in metric. So I'm not sure what 10 fills per centimeter is equivalent to. I think it might be equivalent to 25 count, but I'm not sure. So it's a little hard for me to make the comparison because they have one measurement where they have 80 by 110 centimeters, and I think that's the size of the fabric. And then their finished design is 93 by 61 centimeters. So, but that's on that count fabric, and I'm using a different count than what they're calling for. So, you know what? It's called be on the safe side. I wonder if my lawnmower people are here. If you hear noise, I think the people that are mowing the lawn have showed up. Of course, when I want to do a video, the lawnmowers show up. But that's what it sounds like, and they're going to come on this side of the house. So pardon the noise. Yep, that's what it is. So I apologize. They won't be here long. Hopefully, hold your ears because they're coming up this side of the house. Don't it figure? Don't it figure? Stinkers. Might be able to. Yep, there she goes. But she's a speed demon. She goes pretty fast. And as you see, I have some ends that need to be worked in yet. This is the wrong side. This is the right side. But as I said, I really, truly am enjoying working on this. I was turn my mic off. Okay, she might be done being up against the house. Seems like my mic is not picking up all of my sound. Okay, what's with that? What is with that? Hmm. What else is new? You can probably barely hear me. So let's go to um, the control panel. Might be that my system sound was not work. Hardware and sound. Sound, adjust the volume. Okay, let's see if that's any better. No, not better. Here we go. Here we go. Recording sound. Listen level. Oh, there we go. Every now and again, I don't know why. I am uncertain as to why it happens, but every now and again, my system changes my sound level on the system settings, and then it affects my sound here. So hopefully you can hear me better now and not hear that mower. If she gets close to the house again, I'll turn the sound off. Okay. So where was I? I forget. Anyway, I really am enjoying this, and I think I'm at a point where I just need to do something a little bit different. Not that I'm not going to. I will be doing cross stitch too, so don't worry about that. But I did have several people ask for some more Hardanger stitch alongs, and I will gladly do that. Now, if you notice, I do have it in a hoop, and that is just so that I can see the holes a little bit better. And it also helps me to manipulate all this fabric a little bit better. But I have it really, the hoop is just allowing me to hold things. The hoop is by no means stretching, because you can see how loose it is. So it's just there to provide some support and help me to stitch a little more easy. Okay. And as you notice, some people that stitch in a hoop actually stitch using a stick and a stab. Wait, I think I went over too many here. Hold on. Oh, I did that again. Okay, let me turn the sound off. She's getting close to the house. I'll be right back. Okay. I think she's done on this side. And of course, as I say this, oh, she's coming back. I missed a hole. So there we go. It's like, oh, why is this not looking quite right? But that is the thing. You do see almost right away if something's not right. And you really do have to fix it. You can't, unfortunately, you cannot fudge. It will not, this kind of embroidery does not allow you to fudge. I'm going to bring you in a little, there we go, a little bit close. That's as close as I can get you. Okay. I'm sorry, it's a little hard to see white on white, but we're going to do the best we can here. Let me clear up the, oops, that was worse. Oops, that's worse. There you go. It's a little bit hard to see when you stitch white on white, but we'll try and fix this up a little bit. Take some of the light out so you can see it a little better. There we go. How about this? There. Hopefully, it's not the prettiest picture, but that fixes the contrast a little bit, because this is stark, bright white. Okay. Now, I do have to wear these little cheater things in order to see this, which brings me, segues me right into the fact that I have on order, and they should be here in about 3 weeks or so. I have ordered a pair of the Craft Optics. So I will let you all know when they get here what I think of those. Now, this now calls for some, I didn't tell you, what I'm doing is on this 40 count, I am doing the cluster blocks with size 12 pearl cotton. So that's the thinnest that pearl cotton comes. So normally you would do your eyelets, and this is calling for eyelets up here. Normally, I would do those with size 12 pearl cotton. Only I really do think that on the 40 count, size 12 pearl cotton would be a smidge too thick. It wouldn't look as nice. Because when you're using the higher count, and Hardanger really can be done on, it's been done on as high as 60 and 70 count linen. Now, I don't know that we can buy 70 count anymore, but the 56 is still out there. There might be 60, but I can't quite remember. But even so, you would want something finer than size 12 pearl cotton to do your wrapping with or your eyelets with. So I have ordered, and it should be here tomorrow, some 50 weight, is it Aurifil? Aurifil cotton thread. And I believe that that's used in like quilting and sewing and what have you. But it's a size 50, a 50 weight. Now that's, threads are sized a bit differently than embroidery floss and pearl cottons, but I had some 50 weight sulky here, and I tried that, and it looked very nice. had I been able to get a large cone of the sulky, I would have gone with that as opposed to the Aurifil. But I could only buy that in the little spools that were only 160 yards. And it would have taken a ton of them. Because if you look at the picture, there is a lot. Here we go. Let me pull the picture up for you. Okay, there we go. If you look at the picture here, there is a lot of cutting and wrapping. And I mean, all of this open is wrapped bars with a lacy edge. I mean, that's going to take a lot of thread. So I didn't want to risk, there you go. I didn't want to risk not having enough. So I went with the Aurifil. So we'll see how that goes. This is partly experimental. But you know what? You don't know until you try, right? So right, you don't know until you try. And so far, so good. So I'm not going to put in any of those eyelets yet. We're just going to move along with the blocks, and then tomorrow when that thread comes, then we'll give some eyelets a go. But down here on the other end, I don't know if you'll be able to see this, is where I did some experimenting with things. Now this is some 12 weight sulky, which if I wanted to do color, I probably could have used, because that looks pretty close to the size 12 pearl cotton, although it wasn't quite as, it didn't give it quite as much fluff, I guess. So then I cut a little bit, and I went down here. I don't know if you can see this real well. Down here, I did 2 areas with like just satin stitches, so I could take some threads out so I could test the wraps. So these 2 were done with 30 count sulky. And in all honesty, I really didn't like that. It was a bit too heavy a thread. And this one I wrapped really crappy, but this one, it was just a bit too heavy. And then I pulled out the 50 weight, which is very, very skinny. And I wrapped one, and I thought, now that looks much better. That looks nice. Now, the only 50 weight sulky I had, as I said, is in the 160 yard spools. All the wrapping that there's going to have to be done on this with 60 yard spools is going to take forever. So, and it's going to take a lot of thread. So that's why I ordered the cone of the Aurifil, which I am, since it's the same weight, and sulky is actually a thread that machine quilters use. So I'm making the assumption that the weight is the same. So hopefully it will wrap the same, because that I liked. I thought that looked rather nice. I could fill my bar rather nicely, and this was taking out 4 threads. Yeah, it's going to be little. It's going to be really, really little. But that's okay. I'm rather excited about it. So I am going to alternate between my cross stitching and this. And when my craft optics get here in about, normally she said they take 3 weeks, normally. Like from the day you order until they're out at your front door, it's normally about 3 weeks. But they're a little bit behind. So she said it may be 4 weeks from the time you ordered. Well, let me think. When did I order? It was last week. It's last week. I want to say it might have been Wednesday. Wednesday? I want to say it's a week tomorrow. I always. Oh, why don't I have that email yet? Okay, it was Thursday last week. Yeah, it was Thursday last week. So Thursday, it'll be 1 week down. So it's a little closer every day. So I really am looking forward to getting those. This one goes this way. Okay. I'm going to get myself started down here. And I'll work that in. Well, why don't I work that in first? So I really am looking forward to getting those. And then certainly all of this will be so much easier. And I have to tell you, the woman that I talked to was just ever so nice, so very helpful and knowledgeable. And because my concern and what I didn't know what to get was they put your prescription in the glasses, so it's already your prescription in the glasses, and then these, my daughter calls them scientific goggles, are put on that magnify things 2 times. And you have to make a decision on, of course, I want my bifocal or my close prescription for close work in the bottom, but in the top, you have to decide when you're stitching and you look up, do you want to be able to see like your iPad next to you and your chart? Or do you want to be able to look up and watch television? And if you want to do both, which one is more important to you? So that they know how to configure the top part of the lens. Well, for me, seeing my chart or my iPad is more important than seeing the television, because more often than not, I'm just listening to the television. And for example, a commercial could have been on for weeks. And I just happened to look up when a commercial was on and start laughing because I think it's funny. And my husband will look at me and said, "Didn't you see that before?" And I went, "Nah, I might have heard it before, but I never saw it." So there's times that you can watch a TV show and you can hear and listen and know which character's which, but when you look at him, it's like, which one is that? Because we're paying more attention to this than I am actually looking at the television. So I had to decide which distance I wanted, and the gal was absolutely wonderful. She was a real pleasure to work with, and he also had a nice conversation besides, so that was wonderful, absolutely wonderful. So I'm excited for them, for the glasses to get here, because I have talked to, like I said, I talked to other people and I've heard nothing but good things about them. So I really am anxious to have them for myself. The nice thing is that I do get 45 days that if I don't like them, I just send them back and get all my money back. Because now that is the thing. That is the thing. They are very expensive. I mean, think about what it costs you just to go buy a pair of glasses. Yeah. I just was at the eye doctor, and once again, my eyes have changed. And this time he told me they got worse from the last time I was there. So of course I needed new glasses because it was significantly different. However, if I would have gotten glasses right from my, why is this not looking right? If I would have gotten my glasses right from the eye doctor, they would have been $700-800. Because of course, most eye doctors, their frames, there's nothing under $250, $300 at the, I mean, that's some of the lesser expensive ones, at least the eye doctors I went to. So I opted to say, can I just please have my prescription? And I'm going to purchase my glasses elsewhere, which I did. And I have a pair coming. They should be here within the next couple days for a significant savings. So we shall see what they're like. Those are also, I got them from a place that if I don't like them, I can send them back. So thank heavens for that. But anyway, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is just, I think this is why I like Hardanger. Because I don't have to think so much about it. I can just sit here, and the highest I have to count is 5. The most I have to do is turn my needle to change direction and count the number of blocks in the row, in the stair step. Other than that, it's pretty mindless. I don't have to think a lot about it. I can just enjoy the rhythm and do it. Yeah. Unlike my full coverage pieces, I don't know that there's much chance. Well, there's not much chance to get a rhythm going and enjoying some mindless stitching. And I think I'm just in the mood for something I don't have to think about. I don't have to be changing colors all the time. I can just sit and keep my hands busy while I'm doing it. And as you see, that's what I was going to say. Some people that work, there are a lot of people that I have seen here of late, and I'm not exactly sure why, but they have it in a Q-snap, and their fabric is pulled very tight. And then the fabric is pulled very tight, and then they stick and stab just like you do in cross stitch. And I really want to ask, I want to ask in the group why people do that, because for me, only me, that takes the rhythm away. I truly, really prefer to do this as a sewing method. I think my stitches look nicer if I sew it. But again, that's just me. And as you see, yes, I have it in a hoop, but my hoop is really just more for me to be able to manage the fabric a little bit better. As you see, because it's really, there's no tension on the fabric whatsoever. It's just loose. And I use my finger underneath to kind of manipulate the needle to where it should be. So, yeah. So that is that. But as you see, I mean, all I'm doing today is 5 satin stitches over 4 threads of fabric. There's 4 and 5, and I'm just stair stepping. Yeah, see, just, okay, where is it? Where's the top? Top, there we go. I started here, and I'm just stair stepping down this side. Now, unfortunately, some of their directions are covering, but you can see what it should be on this side. So I'm just stair stepping. I think I counted, I needed 26 or 28 blocks to get down here to this point, and then I can go down this way. So I'm just going to keep filling this in as I'm going to work off what's already there. I'm not going to wander too far away just because this is a little bit of a complicated laid out design. But as you see, it's not difficult. This part is not difficult. That being said, if you can count to 5, count to 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And turn your needle. Count to 4 and count to 5. That's all there is to this part. Now, I probably, just because that's not how I work, I'm not going to do all the blocks and then go back and do all the cutting and then go back and do all the weaving. I am going to work it as I finish areas. I'm going to cut and then do the needle weaving as I finish areas, but the area will have to be finished in such a manner that I know there are no mistakes. Because, heaven forbid, the worst thing that can happen is to get to a point, have cut, and then found you had a mistake way up, way far away from where you are at the moment that your mistake was. Like if I have all this diamond done here and get back up here and it doesn't match, well, somewhere in here there's a mistake. And then the problem is to find it. Now, as you see, it's often recommended to put guidelines in. I'm a naughty girl and I don't do that. However, what I am doing is, as I'm working down this column, is I am checking to be sure that my blocks line up. So I will drag my needle across and say, oh, okay, that one starts where it should. Or I'll drag my needle down like this and go, oh, okay, that top of that block matches with this block, to see that things are lining up the way they should. And when I fill in these 2 rows of blocks down the center here, because they're ones that will get eyelets in them, I'll be able to tell if things aren't matching up because they won't fit in correctly. Okay, so which is why I kind of break it into sections to then make sure things are matching the way they should. And this will not get cut anywhere until this whole diamond part is done and I know everything is right. I may not cut, well, I could cut parts of it and wrap, but we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. So I'm going to do more of these stitch alongs and have you follow along with me as I progress on this piece. I mean, we got a big piece of fabric here, so we got a long, long way to go. Although I'll guarantee you it ain't going to take me as long as a heaven and earth design. So we'll see how it goes. So with that, we're looking at 50 minutes here, so I don't want to hold you up real long. I just wanted to drop in and say, hi, how are you? This is what I'm working on today. For right now, I will probably be working on this in the daytime because it's good light and easier to see during the day until my other scientific goggles get here. Then it could be different. But in the evening in the living room, I will probably then work on my God Shed His Grace, because that's easier to see. So, and when my new glasses get here, other than my scientific goggles, hopefully things will be better all the way around again. So we shall see what happens with that. I did want to give you all an update because a lot of you have asked. I did post it in my VIP group that hubby had his surgery and everything went well. At 1 week post-op, he was basically, for the most part, back to normal. So that was a wonderful, wonderful thing. Yeah, we have a doctor's appointment on Thursday for him to get checked post-op. And I am sure that the doctor will be quite satisfied with his progress on his recovery. So we'll see how that appointment goes. But yes, all is fine and well, and he's doing terrific. And I just wanted to thank all of you for sending all your healing thoughts and prayers, and they were very much appreciated, and he did just told him, I said, I guess all your worrying before this was to know you worried for nothing, is about what I told him. But it's hard not to worry when you have time to think about that upcoming surgery. It's like I said, when they tell you need surgery, you often wish, okay, I need this, let's go do it now. Don't give me time to think about it, let's go do it now. But that doesn't always happen. So with that, my friends, I think I will bid you farewell for today. I hope you have a great and wonderful rest of your week. I hope some of you decide to pick up some Hardanger, and I do have the series of Let's Learn the Basics that you can watch those, and it will give you these basic stitches on how to do it. And really, it is just a lot of simple stitches put together to make something wonderful. You can do it. So that series is out there for you. It's in a playlist for you to find it. So, let's keep the art alive. Oh, the other thing I want to thank all of you for, I got a message from Morty and David, who I had asked you to go visit their channel and give them some love and help them get past 1,000 subscribers. And they passed that milestone and were ever so grateful. So for those of you who went to help them out, thank you for doing so. I do really enjoy their channel. They do such a good job, and they are good people. So thank you for helping them reach their milestone. I appreciate that help, and I haven't been watching a lot of FlossTube to be able to recommend somebody else, but I will. I will. So with that, my friends, I am going to bid you all farewell. Hope you have a great rest of your week, and I will see you in my next video. And remember, the only rules in cross stitch are the ones you set for yourself.